Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to County Court Law number 6 in the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. Today is Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. It is approximately 20 minutes after 10 a.m. and we are doing our weekly motion to revoke probation docket. Representing the states, Mr. Eddie Villarreal and Mr. Ross Lewis. Representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Marissa Sedovich, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Sedovich, please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. The first case we have set for hearing today is cause number 665048, State of Texas versus Jacob Santos, represented by Ms. Sophie Martinez. This is a first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Ms. Martinez, are you ready to proceed at this time?
We are ready, Your Honor.
Okay. The first document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which purports to have both Ms. Martinez and Mr. Santos' signatures on it. In fact, Mr. Santos, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes.
And Ms. Martinez, as attorney for Mr. Santos, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
The next document I'm looking at is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication and the defendant has a limited right of appeal, unquote. Mr. Santos, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes.
And Ms. Martinez, as attorney for Mr. Santos, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Martinez, my understanding is this is an uncontested first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Santos, in cause 665048 on the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. How do you plead, sir?
True.
Thank you. Ms. Sedovich, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Santos' probation?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant's reporting has been good. His last report was January 4th of this year. He is up to date. He is paid in full, actually. He has completed all 50 of his 50 hours of community service. He had 3 positive marijuana tests and 1 negative. He has provided proof he has completed the drug offender education program. The probation officer was recommending to add weekly UAs and complete the DOEP within 30 days.
Okay, Ms. Martinez, what is your recommendation or what is your request?
Did complete the dope class last week. That was part of what I had talked to probation about, and he went and paid in full. Other than that, Judge, he's completed everything. So I'm asking the court to actually terminate his probation satisfactorily. If the court is not, everything is done. If the court does not want to do that, I'd ask the court to continue him and in 30 days, if he doesn't test positive again, to allow early termination of his deferred then and close the case.
State recommendation?
State recommendation, Judge, is for continuing with weekly UAs for 30 days.
Okay, I don't think it's any secret. It's impossible to get Mr. Santos off of marijuana. He's been on marijuana the entire time he's on probation. So here's your 2 options, Ms. Martinez. I can revoke him and give him 6 months instead of a year, so the credit he's got, or I can take away his deferred and leave him on probation for another 6 months and put him in intensive outpatient and weekly UAs. What would y'all like to do? And would you like to go into a breakout room and chat with your client about it before you choose?
Judge, I believe the first UA was a baseline when he went on. So he's only really had 2 dirty UAs since he started probation, because the other one was a baseline they took right when he got onto probation, Judge. So the MTR only alleges 1 in November and 1 in December. So I just wanted the court to be aware of that. Judge, well, I mean, it was the recommendation of probation that he do a dope class, and he took initiative and did that all last week so he could show the court that he had done that and he had paid in full. So would the court just continue him on and let him have weekly UAs?
I'm having a hard time using the English language, but I'm doing the best I can. I've given you the 2 options that I have in mind. And I'm not going to change those two options. So do you want to go back and chat with your client about that? Or would you like to just have his deferred, revoked, and keep it on, stay on probation instead of do 6 months in jail, which is probably really 3 for 1, 2 months in jail?
Okay, Judge, so you would take away his deferred and continue him, or you're asking for time?
If we had an inpatient option, I'd be happy to play that card. But the way things are going, my understanding, Ms. Sedovich can correct me if I'm wrong, an individual would have, even if he volunteered to go to the substance abuse treatment facility inpatient program, he would have to sit in jail 60 to 90 days before a bed became available. Is that more or less accurate, Ms. Sedovich?
Correct, Your Honor.
Which makes it not really a realistic choice. Even if a defendant wanted to do that, that wouldn't be fair to the defendant, probably.
Okay, Judge, can I go in the breakout room with
Absolutely.
Ross for a minute and then my client?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you want to talk to Ross?
Yes.
You both can go back into room 2. Okay. Your Honor, just for your information, on the prisoner Damon Denna, we are having trouble with the paperwork. The jail, for some reason, keeps saying that it has been deleted or it has been canceled. I have already sent it over 3 times. What the attorney suggested, if we could do it tomorrow in the afternoon, and maybe we could resolve the issue.
That's fine.
Thank you.
I'm going to sign off and sign back on. I'll be right back.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay. And currently, I'm going to try to get a hold of Mr. Aleman, okay?
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Denna, we'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and remove you, okay? And we'll send the paperwork at that time.
Sorry, he just found the document on some other way he looked it up.
You're kidding. He found it?
Yeah, it's right here ready signed and everything.
Okay, so is your attorney there?
I do not see
Did he
him. I think he just left, yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can get him back in.
Okay, ma'am.
Live on YouTube.
For real?
That's what it said.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Okay. I asked him if he could come back in. Let you know what he said.
Pat,
Sir?
my client signed. He could not
Yes.
leave the breakout room.
He can't. I'll get him out.
I appreciate that. And can I just speak briefly, a few moments with Stephanie Pesenia?
Yes, I'll put you in that room.
Or thank you. But do I go back into 3 or no?
You can, and I'll get him out.
Okay.
Your Honor, the prisoner actually, Denna, found the paperwork and Mr. Beiser filling those out. So just so that you know, we are going to do it today.
Okay, back on the record on cause 665-048, State of Texas versus Jacob Santos. Ms. Martinez, have you elected what you would like to do?
Well, I talked to Ross, Judge, but I haven't been able to get into a room with my client. I was needing Pat to put me in there.
I'm sorry, Pat, would you please send Ms. Martinez and her client into a breakout room?
Yes,
Thank you.
Your Honor, let me find her client and she can go back.
Jacob Santos.
Yes. Ma'am. And we put you in 2.
Mr. Santos, tap the go into the breakout room so that you can go in.
Okay. Mr. Denna and Mr. Bias will put you back in a breakout room as well.
Thank you.
Into 4, Mr. Dennett, Mr. Bias, 4.
Are we ready on anybody else at this time?
You're. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm trying to see at this point. I'm trying to get a hold of the rest of the attorneys. I think Joseph may be ready on Mr. Olivo, and he is about ready with Ms. Pacina.
Okay.
Ms. Pacina is back, so I'm sure Joseph should be coming back as well. And they should be. You need to sign Mr. Olivo's paperwork, Your Honor.
Just send it in.
Thank you. Then I will give that to you. Yes. Your Honor, I just sent you Mr. Olivo.
Okay.
Were you able to sign it, Mr. Denna? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Thank you. All right. Well,
Pat, sorry to interrupt. I went to breakout room 3. Miss Pesenia was not in there.
Judge, Mr. Santos and I are back. We've had a chance to speak.
All right, hang on just a sec, Soap. Be right back.
We'll bring it back tomorrow, sir.
No. Oh, I thought you were telling me.
Yeah, did he come back up?
Yeah, they already, I'm about to talk to the judge and everything. So,
yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do Mr. Dennis.
Your attorney's still on there?
yeah, they said they're gonna do me right now.
Okay, good. All
All
right.
right.
You already
Yeah.
signed?
Yeah, I signed it and everything.
Oh, good. Well
Yeah.
done.
Okay. Back on the record on cause 665048, State of Texas versus Jacob Santos. Ms. Martinez, what did y'all want to do?
Judge, he wants to stay on probation, so,
Good choice. On cause 665048, State of Texas versus Jacob Santos. The court accepts Mr. Santos' plea true with an explanation on the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. I grant the state's motion to revoke Mr. Santos, deferred adjudication probation. I adjudicate him guilty of the offense of unlawfully carrying a handgun. I sentence him to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year. He's going to be eligible for early termination, so he's already got most of this stuff done. I just want him to finish the intensive outpatient. And let me get to that. And Marissa, can you tell me what the original fine on this case was?
Yes, Your Honor, it's 450.
And how many hours of community service originally? 50?
He was ordered 50 and completed 50.
50. Okay, once again, Mr. Santos, 665048. Court accepts your plea of truth with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation. I adjudicate you guilty of the offense of unlawfully carrying a handgun. I sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year. Assess $450 fine plus court costs, 50 hours community service, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety, intensive outpatient drug alcohol program, weekly UAs, no firearms, purchase, possession, or use, and credit for anything already done or any monies paid. What did I forget, Marissa?
That's all, Your Honor. He completed the DOEP. That wasn't ordered on his last.
This intensive outpatient will cover that, unless he needs it for a driver's license thing. I don't think he does he? I mean, I'll be happy to do it if it's something that's gonna.
He already completed. He has a certificate. He's good.
Sophie, y'all want to do DOEP? I don't know if it's a driver's license requirement or not.
I mean, Judge, if you want to put it, I don't think there's a driver's license issue on it, but he has completed it. So if the court would give him credit for it.
All right, let's give him DOEP, and he's already got proactive credit for doing it the first time. All right, state, what did I miss?
I think that's it, Judge.
All right, Marissa, when is the actual last urinalysis test results we have on Mr. Santos? My records show it in November. There's got to be one since November.
I'm showing November 10th.
And why would that be? Why would he have not had any UA since then?
Judge, there was a December 8th UA that's on the amended motion. So that was the dirty UA in December.
All right. Hey, Mr. Santos, if I send you out for UA today, are you going to be positive for something colorful?
No, sir.
All right. Send Mr. Santos out. He's on weekly UAs anyway. So this week or next week, whenever you get time, and we'll go from there. No more problems, Mr. Santos. Sophie, he is eligible for early termination at this point. Mostly, I just want him to finish that intensive outpatient course, okay? So if he stays clean until then, the probability is, no promises expressed or implied, the probability is I would term him early on this one, okay?
All right, Judge, thank you.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Santos. Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And who else are we ready on, Pat?
Your Honor, the paperwork for Dana is ready. You just need to sign it. Joseph, are you ready on both of your cases?
I was hoping to speak with Stephanie. I'm ready, but if I can speak with Stephanie for 2 minutes.
Go ahead. Sure.
Then yeah.
I'll give him time. Okay.
All right. It could be.
Joseph, go back into 3 and I'll put Stephanie in 3.
All right. Thank you, Pat.
Pat, I did not know that you were a senior jump master.
Airborne.
Airborne. Jumpers, hit it. 1,000.
The last time I jumped when I came back from Afghanistan, I was 50 years old. I got out of the airplane and the parachute opened. I went, Jesus Christ, why am I still doing this?
A cherry jump. I had to open my wrist guard.
Well, as long as it takes to get this taken care of. Yeah.
Okay, Pat, I just sent you Mr. Dennis paperwork. I think.
Okay, and Your Honor, I have emailed and texted the other attorneys that have not shown yet, just so that you know.
Okay.
And as soon as I get it, I'll let you know, Your Honor, so that you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Nope.
Okay.
Does it seem like getting lawyers here are more like herding cats every day?
I plead the fifth. Yes, Your Honor. All right, Your Honor. I am sending you Mr. Dennis right now.
Okay.
My mom didn't even know I was going to be to do a side job. She thought I was gonna go do a little something in San Antonio. So nobody knows. I ain't even got no numbers. I would have called my family. I don't have no phone. I just have my address and that's it. But I'm in here, so I can't even. Yeah. Wait, is there any way that can be waived?
Mr. Hayek, do you want to go into
That takes a long.
with an ADA or with your client?
ADA, they never got back to me.
Okay. Eddie,
Oh, okay,
you
no,
go
yeah.
in a breakout room?
Yes.
Okay. Go into room 6, Mr. Hayek. You'll go into room 6.
40.
Thank you.
You're right back.
478237. Passing that. It's on what moderator? It's down Commerce. It's down Commerce. One more. My mom called on August. She's speaking. She's a Spanish lady.
Okay. Oh, and so I'll be taking care of the debt today too.
Spanish letters.
Everybody, if you would, if we're not specifically talking to you at this time, turn your microphone off so we don't get any background noise. Thanks.
That's because I lost the.
Okay, are we ready to proceed on Mr. Olivo, Mr. Statesman?
Yes, on that client and my other client, Miss Basina.
Okay, let's start with Mr. Olivo. This is cause number 651571, State of Texas versus Damian C. Olivo. This is a motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. The first document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which purports to have both Mr. Olivo's and Mr. Stateson's signatures on it. In fact, Mr. Olivo, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Stateson, as attorney for Mr. Olivo, is this your signature on this document also?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Pat, my copy does not have the defendant's name entered where it says I blank hereby waive my right to enter my plea of true, not true in open court, et cetera, et cetera. So that needs to be entered for administrative purposes before this gets processed.
Yes, sir.
The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal. In fact, Mr. Olivo, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And
And
Mr. Olivo, I'm sorry, did you say yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when I'm talking to you, just turn your microphone off after we finish chatting so that I don't get background noise. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Okay, and Mr. Stateston, as attorney for Mr. Olivo, is this your signature on this document also?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Stateston, my understanding is that this is an uncontested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
That is correct. My client intends to plead true with explanation.
Fair enough. Mr. Olivo, in cause number 651571 on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
All right. I'm kind of interested in this.
Can you speak
My
up louder?
understanding is the defendant is entering a plea of true with an explanation. Would that be correct, Mr. Stateston?
That is correct.
And is that correct, Mr. Olivo?
True.
There we go. And Ms. Sedovich, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Olivo's probation? I remind you, you're still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor. The probationer's reporting has been good. His last report date was November 17th of 2021. He has a delinquent balance of $795. He has not paid anything towards his fees. He was ordered 24 hours of community service and has not completed any hours. He has 2 positive EUAs for marijuana, and he has not completed the drug offender education program. His probation officer is recommending a 10-day jail sanction, proof of the drug offender education program within 5 days of release, and extend 6 months in order to pay in full and complete hours. This case is scheduled to expire March 22nd of 2022.
Clarify for me exactly what his reporting is. I see some allegations that he didn't report. Let's see. December 2021. Did he just not report 1 month, or how many months total did he not report?
I'm showing for the 1 month he did not report.
So he's reported correctly ever since October 27th, 2021, except for the month of December. Does that sound right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, and the last UA we have on Mr. Olivo is dated when?
Is November 30th of 21, and he was positive for marijuana. And the other one was October 27th of 21.
And why would he have not had any more UAs since then until now? This, I guess the MTR was filed on or about, let's see, January 5th. So he did not have a UA in December. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct, when he did not report. Yes.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, Mr. Stateston, what are you requesting?
Judge, we would like to have the recommendation followed, the 10-day sanction, continue him on probation. He would like to salvage this. He does have a framing job lined up with the Chinko framing. He's going to be able to start making payments as soon as, I think he said as early as next week when he gets out. He would like to avoid a revocation conviction, Your Honor. He does have 2 children. He cares for his own daughter, and he's with a girlfriend who has a stepson, and the girlfriend needs his help with the daughter. With her son.
And Ms. Sedovich, what specific programs has Mr. Olivo completed?
None, Your Honor. He was ordered the drug offender education program and has not completed that.
Mr. Statson, do you have a reason why Mr. Olivo hasn't done any programs since he came on probation in September of 2021?
I understand it looks bad. He's willing to be continued longer. He would like probation opportunity, Judge. He did not have employment. He was not able to pay for classes. And while in jail, he was able to have employment lined up. It's with I believe it's with I can't pronounce it, but Checo framing job. He's adamant that he'll be able to have a job lined up and start making a payment and start taking the class.
Ms. Sedovich, once again, this probation officer's narrative confuses me. It says other concerns, quote, Mr. Olivo has made no efforts to contact CSO or report in person as directed. What does that mean?
For the month of December, he has not contacted the officer. Let's see.
Okay, so that she means just the month of December. Although she didn't say that. All right, I got it.
And Judge, he was picked up on January 7th.
And the officer sent him a text message on December 22nd, instructing him to call immediately and that you were scheduled to report today at 1:30.
Okay, state recommendation.
State recommendation, Judge, is for revocation and 45 days in the Bexar County Jail.
And my records show Mr. Olivo has 17 days jail credit, plus or minus.
That's correct.
Mr. Olivo, on clause 651-571, the court accepts your plea of truth and explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation. I adjudicate you guilty of the offense of criminal trespass of a habitation or shelter. I sentence you to 60 days in the Bexar County Jail. Assess a $1,000 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, recalling all pretrial services bond conditions that may have been assessed on the bond. Well, I guess there's probably a remand without bonds, there probably aren't any. Anyway, anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Olivo?
Nothing from defense.
Nothing from the state.
And Joseph, I want you to ensure that he's getting credit for this 17 days. If there's a problem, call us.
Yes, Judge. I think my calculation was 16 days, so I think your 17 sounds correct, but I'll double check with the clerks.
Okay. Good luck, Mr. Olivo. Thank you, Mr. Statson.
Thank you, Judge.
Joseph, are you ready on your next case?
I am.
Let's do that one. This is cause number 649277, State of Texas versus Stephanie L. Pacina. This is a second amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. The first document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which purports to have both Ms. Pacina's and Mr. Statson's signatures on it. In fact, Ms. Pacina, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. And Mr. Stateson, as attorney for Ms. Messina, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I'm looking at is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal. In fact, Ms. Messina, is this your signature on this document also, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. And Mr. Stateson, as attorney for Ms. Messina, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
My understanding is that this is an uncontested second amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that correct, Mr. Stateson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Messina, in cause 649277 on the second amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, ma'am?
True, with explanation.
Thank you. Ms. Sedovich, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Ms. Messina's probation? I remind you, you're still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Messina's status is, her reporting is good. Her last report date was January 6th of this year. She's paid a total of $1,284 and has a balance of $97. She's completed 30 of her 30 hours of community service. She's completed her DWI education and her victim impact panel. She has not completed the CAT SNP. She had 2 positive UAs for alcohol. One was the confirmation. She is had a violation on September 27th of 21 of a 0.21 and a 0.022. And on September 23rd of a 0.022 and a 0.021 with no retest. Probation is recommending weekly UAs and substantial compliance within 30 days.
And Station, what are you requesting?
Continue her on deferred, Your Honor. I understand that the September, the BAC positives, October 3rd, she finished the DWI education class. October 16th, she completed a victim impact panel. December 29th, she finished all community service hours. She's enrolled in CAT SNP. She only has 3 sessions left. And the $97 should be paid next week. There's no other class outstanding. She's still reporting. She's always had good contact with her probation officer. She's employed at Chase Bank. She's doing very well. She would like to avoid a conviction. She's fairly young, Your Honor. If you can just give her an opportunity to finish probation. If you need to extend her longer, we're completely fine with that. If we can have her continue on deferred.
And Ms. Sedovich, my understanding is Ms. Messina is not a serial killer and has no criminal history. Is that accurate?
That is accurate, Your Honor.
State recommendation, please.
Your Honor, the state agrees with probation's recommendation.
And the only program that Ms. Messina has not completed or is in the process of completing is CAT SNP. Does that sound right, Ms. Sedovich?
Correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Messina, on cause 649277, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I deny the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation. Order you continued on deferred adjudication probation with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Will that be necessary, ma'am?
No,
Oh, good answer.
no.
Altering and amending your conditions, modifying your Smart Start mobile device from 4 blows a day to 6 blows a day. If you show me a clean 30-day period of time where you don't miss any blows at 6 blows a day and you don't have any hybrax or alcohol, I'll crank you back down to 4 blows a day. I will not know you've done that if you do it. You got to let your lawyer know. He'll let me know, and I'll get it confirmed through probation, and then we'll order it back down to 4. I'm putting you on weekly UAs. If you show me 4 clean weekly UAs in a row, I will put you back on monthly UAs. Once again, I will not know you've done that. You got to let your lawyer know. He'll let me know. I'll get it confirmed through probation. I'm also requiring substantial compliance within 10 days. And what that means is within 10 days, you have to register for CAT SNP. You may not start it, but you'll register for it. And that's the last program you have going that I'm aware you need to complete. That sound right, Marissa?
Yes, I believe her attorney said that she has 3 classes left.
Oh, she's already in it. That's even better.
Mhm.
Okay, great. All right. Any questions, Ms. Pacina?
No, I do not.
All right. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Pacina?
Nothing from defense.
Nothing from state.
So let Ms. Pacina. Thank you, Mr. Stateson. Y'all are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
And who else is ready, Pat? Mr. Baez, ready on Mr. Dana?
Yes, Your Honor.
We are, Your Honor.
All right, this is cause number 656-179, State of Texas versus Daniel Anthony Dana, represented by Mr. Edgar Baez. This is a first amended motion to revoke community supervision. And the first document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which purports to have both Mr. Denna's and Mr. Baez's signatures on it. In fact, Mr. Denna, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Baez, as attorneys, Mr. Denna, is this your signature on this
Yeah,
document?
do I need to first sign in again?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Versus it.
Okay, and the next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions, revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. Mr. Denna, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Baez, is this your signature on this document as attorney for Mr. Denna also?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. My understanding, Mr. Baez, is this is an uncontested first amended motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Dana, in cause 656-179 on the first amended motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
Your Honor, he's gonna plead true with an explanation.
Court accepts the plea of true with an explanation. Ms. Sedovich, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Denna's probation? I remind you, you're still under oath. And Mr. Denna, if you turn your microphone off, sir, we won't get any background noise. Thanks.
Yes, Your Honor. This probationer has never reported to probation. His last report date was when he reported to intake to sign his conditions back in September 21 of 2021. He has made a payment of $143.75. He has a balance of $1,628.25, and he's delinquent $365.25. He was ordered 48 hours of community service and has completed none. He was ordered the CAT-SNP and DWI intervention, and he has yet to complete those. He did complete the victim impact panel class. He had a high BRAC on September 21st of 2021 of 0.024. And he has been in lockout since September 25th of 2021 on his interlock device. Probation is recommending to enroll in all programs within 7 days of release, SCRAM device, and CATS intensive outpatient treatment.
I have a question. If probation is recommending you do all these things, how are they going to get him to show up to do it?
We are recommending this to give him another opportunity to continue on probation if he was interested in complying.
Okay. And priors, does Mr. Denna have one prior DWI? Does that sound right?
I'm not showing, I have to review the criminal history, Your Honor.
I show a July 21, 20 probation on a DWI, and I show a September 16, 21 plea, which is, I guess, the current one we're on. And then there's a resisting in there before that. That's all I see. All right, Mr. Baez, would you agree that Mr. Denna has one prior DWI?
I'm not aware of it, Your Honor, but I wouldn't disagree with you.
I got you. All right, Mr. Baez, what are you requesting, sir?
Your Honor, I think we should follow the recommendations of the probation officer, but more importantly, I want to answer your question. This time, I am the attorney of record. I don't know if you know this. I'm also a pastor. I have become my client's pastor. I'm going to be advising him that he needs to be complying with this. What the court may not be aware of, that he's actually has been diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and he has not taken his medication, which is Concerta, for several for a time. And so the family is willing to put him back on that medicine. When he does get back on that medicine, he's a completely different man. And so I think that if we can somehow, I don't know if we can order that, but if we can adhere to that, he will be a much different man. It's just that right now he has a child. They have issues with the visitation and all this stuff. Life is coming to him, and he has no support other than himself. Now, his mom is here with me. They hired me, and I've been advising him. And so I think he's going to have a chance this time because I'm going to be holding him responsible. So if that holds any weight in this court, I believe that if you give him another chance, Your Honor, he's going to be a different person because the family is, in fact, committed to get him back on the medication that he needs.
Okay, thank you, sir. State recommendation?
Your Honor, the state recommends revocation and 30 days.
And Ms. Sedovich, do you have in your records the original fine amount on this case?
$800, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the defendant also has a federal detainer as well. I just wanted to make the court aware of.
What does that mean?
That he had
U.S. Marshal Holt.
Oh, so he's got some other legal problem somewhere else.
It appears so. Yeah.
What happened, Your Honor, if I may, what happened is this MTR triggered a federal, he was on probation on both the federal. And so I'm dealing with that as well.
I got you. Mr. Dena, on cause 656-179, the court accepts your plea of truth and explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, assessed an $800 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. If he has to serve any federal time or something, I'll be happy to run this concurrent with whatever federal time he may or may not have coming. You just have to let us know.
We won't be able to do that until after he completes. That's one of the issues with the federal.
Understand. All right, that's all I got. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Dena?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing for the defendant, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Dena. Thank you, Mr. Baez. Y'all are dismissed.
Okay, Your Honor.
Yeah.
There is paperwork on Mr. Breedlove. It should have gone to you. You need to sign it. Mr. Ahman is in for the Spanish speaker. However, we've lost our interpreter. I'd have to see if I can get her back.
Okay. And that's only for Mr. Hernandez, correct?
Yes. But the paperwork needs to be signed for
I'm working on it as we speak.
okay. Hold on. I'm getting emails, but
Okay, I just finished Mr. Breedlove's paperwork and sent it to you.
okay. And I will see about getting an interpreter. She had to go to another court, Your Honor. So let me see if I can find one.
Do we have Mr. Alaman with us at this time?
I believe he
Oh, I
signed.
see. Okay, yeah, we're good.
I'm here, that's what's up.
Great.
Okay, Mr. Aliman, do you want to talk to your client, sir?
He knows what's going to happen already.
Okay, then let me just see if I can get the interpreter. We need to get him to sign the paperwork though, so that's why.
Okay, yeah, okay, well, put me with him and I'll talk to him right now.
Thank you.
I'll send him the papers.
All right.
I thought this was at 2 o'clock. I thought this was at 2 o'clock. I didn't know it was.
That's okay, Mr. Aliman. We've got some stuff going on. I'm going to call the. Okay, we should be getting an interpreter in just a little bit, And Your Honor, let me see if I've got the paperwork. I do.
We ready on Mr. Oh, I just sent you Mr. Breedlove Foltz's paperwork, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and I'm sending it to you right.
Tony, let's get you out of the way if we could right before we have to wait for the interpreter. That might save you some time.
That'd be great.
There you go,
We're ready
Your
up
Honor.
here.
I just sent it to you.
Got it.
And Mr. Salinas, I have emailed your attorney. I have not gotten an answer. So.
Need Sylvia.
Marissa, I sent Sophie and Mr. Santos a new application, probation application, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Squad number 661-716 that is Texas versus William Breedlove Foltz, represented by Mr. Anton Hayek. Mr. Hayek, are you ready to proceed?
I'm ready, Your Honor.
This is a motion to revoke community supervision. Mr. Breedlove Foltz, if you keep your microphone off until I ask you a question and then you turn it off after you've answered, that'd be great, because then we won't get background noise. Thank you, sir. All right, the first document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Breedlove Foltz, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Hayek, as attorney for Mr. Breedlove Foltz, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I'm looking at is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction, unquote. In fact, Mr. Breedlove Foltz, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Hayek, as attorney for Mr. Breedlove Foltz, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. My understanding, Mr. Hayek, is that this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
Well, he wants to explain. The probation office wants to continue him. The ADA wants to revoke him. So we just thought we'd leave it up to you.
Well, he's welcome to plead either true or not true with an explanation and not request a contested motion to revoke hearing. But if you'd rather have a motion contested, we just try to get the actual initial supervisor or probation officer here. That's the only difference.
He's going to plead true and not contest it.
All right. So let's say true with an explanation. So Mr. Breedlove Foltz, in cause 661-716 on the motion to revoke community supervision. How do you plead, sir?
True, sir.
All right. Court accepts a plea of true with an explanation. Ms. Sedovich, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Breedlove Foltz probation? I remind you, you're still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor. The probationer's reporting status is poor. His last report date was August 11th of 2021. He only reported for 2 months. He has a balance of $1,404. He made a payment of $130 and is delinquent $867. He has not completed any of the 24 hours of community service. He failed to submit to his drug test. He has not completed the stress education class. Probation is recommending to extend case 1 year and add SATIF for 120 to 180 days with aftercare and remain in jail until SATIF pickup. The officer has received reports of substance abuse reported by community contacts.
My client tells me now has a job lined up.
All right, Mr. Hayek, what are you requesting or anything else you'd like to tell us?
Tough call, Judge. I request 90 days if you revoke him.
Is the offense of terroristic threat causing fears at a Class A or a Class B? One would think I would know that.
I believe it's a B.
I think you're right. State, what is it? Because the state always knows, don't you, State?
It's a B if it's not a family member. It's an A if it is a family member.
Okay.
Not sure what this one.
We'll call it a B, no problem. Okay, state recommendation?
The state recommends revocation, Your Honor.
And Ms. Sedovich, can you, do your record reflect what the original fine on this case was?
$500.
Mr. Breedlove Foltz, in cause 661716, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail. It says a $500 fine plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, recalling all pretrial bond conditions. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Breedlove Foltz?
No, you're
Nothing
right.
from the state.
Good luck, Mr. Breedlove Foltz. Thank you, Mr. Hayek. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Mr. Hayek, he has currently 46 days,
That all? Okay. Thank you.
46. All righty. Your Honor,
Okay, who else is ready? Mr. Aliman ready on his case? We haven't.
Your Honor, they're in a breakout room right now. I don't know, Ms. Valley, do you want to go in so that you can talk to them, or do you want to stay until they come back so that we can set up the interpretation? I can't hear.
Yes, Pat. I'm sorry. It just depends on the attorney if he needs me, if he can speak Spanish or not.
Yeah,
If he
it's
can-
Mr. Alaman. He should. I didn't know if he wanted to try to set it up beforehand or explain it to him, what he needed to do. So just let me know. We can wait, and I'll check with them right now in the breakout room, Your Honor, and see, because they need to do the paperwork. That's why. Okay?
Do you want to? Okay. Do you want to? Excuse me, Pat. Can you set up the
Right now?
app?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
That's
With
not
the
a problem.
appropriate instructions.
Ma'am, Breedlove Foltz is done.
Yes, you may leave.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Valle.
Yes.
You're ready. I'm going to go into a breakout room and see if they're almost ready. Okay?
Have we heard from Mr. Stenberg?
He just left right after you asked the question. Just missed her. Or before.
See, Marissa, don't you miss being in the trenches again?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. Susan got me all set up yesterday. I met with her. She gave me all this paperwork and took care of me. So I'm just reading off the script here.
Well, you're no Susan Gross, but I guess you'll do.
No, I'm not.
Your Honor, what's happened is Mr. Lehman is trying to get a bailiff. They're trying to find a bailiff. They're shorthanded to get the paperwork so they can do it. So I told him, the guy, to go and look for one and pull one, but they're shorthanded.
Have we heard from Joe Stenberg on this?
No, we have not, Your Honor. I have emailed him and I have heard nothing.
Do you have a cell number on him? All I have is an office number.
I do not. I checked myself, Your Honor. I emailed him, but he knew about it because he asked specifically for it last week. So.
All right. Well, worst case scenario, if he can't make it, we'll just try to do it tomorrow.
Okay. I will get a hold of him one way or another and try to do it tomorrow, Your Honor. But like I said, I'm going to go back and see if we can get a hold of that bailiff. So I'll be in the breakout room.
And State, when we're doing these things, if one of you wants to go somewhere else and do something, all I need is one DA at hearings like this, or like for please tomorrow, one of you can do please and the other one can do something else. It's always nice to have both of you here as a nitroglycerin kind of an impact, but.
Okay, Judge. Yeah, I'll talk to Ross about it. But yeah, I appreciate that.
Sure.
I like please personally. I like doing please. Those are my faves.
I like getting your script in advance so I know what you're doing and I don't have to.
Oh, that's helpful.
Double sleep better. That's a great idea. Hey, Mr. Salinas, have you heard from your attorney, Mr. Stenberg, today?
No, sir, I haven't.
Okay. We're going to try and track him down. If we can get him here today, we'll do this today. And if we can't, we're going to probably do it tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock or sometime between 2 and 5, whenever you guys are available. And we'll just stand by for a while and see if we hear from him and see what he's probably stuck in another court.
Yes, sir, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, Judge, someone came into my office and we got a new advocate and they were walking her around. Thank you.
No problemo.
Eddie, they're going to send me her email and I'll forward it to you. But she's going to be, once you get back to the office, they're going to put her in the that office right next to the copy room with where the other advocate James is.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so she's not going to be with Edelman like Vanessa is. I guess Vanessa's staying there.
Do you have an advocate for each court, or does she have several courts?
So yeah, it's 2 advocates for all the misdemeanor, all the regular misdemeanor courts. So
okay, they found the paperwork and he's explaining it, Your Honor. So as soon as it's ready, then we can go forward.
and we have to be a family violence court to be that special. We got our own advocate.
I don't want to be a family violence court.
I don't blame you.